This video is brought to you by SteelSeries and their award-winning Arctis 9X headset, which I used when I went hands-on with Halo Infinite. Stick around to learn more about it at the end of the video. So I'm at home and I'm just minding my own business, listening to my Will Smith records, when suddenly the phone rings. And who is it but Phil Spencer? And I'm like, hey, Uncle Phil, what's up, buddy? And he's like, hey, chill up. Wanna play some Halo? And I'm like, Phil, mate, newsflash, it's already out. I'm playing the multiplayer right now. Shouldn't you know this? And he's like, no, silly. How about campaign? Wanna play some of that? And I'm like, well, I was gonna play some more Battlefield 2042. And he's like, nah, you weren't. And I'm like, nah, I wasn't. You got me, Phil. Let's play some Halo. Halo Infinite's multiplayer has set a remarkably high bar for the campaign to reach. 343's biggest achievement with multiplayer is that they've managed to update Halo's classic PvP sandbox in a way that still feels so authentic to the original experience. The addition of sprint, slide, the approach to aim down sights, time to kill, map design, weapon balancing, all of it feels modern in a way that the Master Chief Collection now doesn't, and yet Halo Infinite doesn't feel like it's aping Call of Duty or Titanfall or whatever. It still feels like Halo, and the only way that 343 could have gotten there was by truly understanding what Halo is, what makes it tick, what parts could be updated or swapped out, versus which parts were too sacred to mess with. Halo 5's campaign was the perfect example of getting this wrong, of misunderstanding what Halo is and tripping over every tripwire that we as fans lay down with a franchise this storied and this beloved. Halo 5 just didn't get Halo, and its legacy still looms large over the excitement for Halo Infinite's campaign. We can rest easy knowing that the multiplayer is good, but everyone is still kinda holding their breath over the campaign. Well, I got to play the campaign, or at least some of it. I played the first 4 or 5 hours, and I played it twice. I played it once through on normal and then again on heroic. I'm saving legendary for launch. I got to experience the first 4 missions of Halo Infinite, which did include a fair chunk of time spent roaming around Zeta Halo, the new open world space in which Halo Infinite is largely set. I got to test out dozens of new and returning weapons, some returning vehicles, some of the new gadgets, met some new enemy types, and I got my first taste of how 343 planned to tell the next chapter in the story of John Halo and his imaginary cyber girlfriend. So, what did I think? More than any other preview I've done before, I would remind you that this is a preview. Typically when I play a game for 10 hours, I'm like, yeah, I get it. I generally know what this is going to be come launch. I mean, Far Cry isn't exactly gonna surprise us at this point, right? I suspect that Halo Infinite has plenty of surprises in store for me in its later acts, which is a good thing because right now, some parts of it aren't clicking for me. The supporting cast feels kind of out of place. They're clearly there to play off against Chief's calm resolve and seriousness, but the anxiety of the pilot and the MCU-like quips of the new AI companion are often more jarring than they are enjoyable. The villain is also feeling quite Saturday morning cartoon at this point. Perhaps there's far more to this villain later on, but introducing him as a big angry dude who yells boilerplate threats certainly doesn't pique your interest into what subtleties might lie beneath his persona or his motivations. The open world stuff, I don't know, man. I don't think any of it is bad. I don't look at any part of it and say this makes Halo worse, but I also don't look at any part of it and say yes, this definitely makes Halo better. Zeta Halo so far feels a lot more vacant and map marker driven led than I was hoping. Exploration and discovery are not core features of this experience. I expect this space would be vastly more enjoyable were I to roll through it with a friend, making the absence of campaign co-op at launch a serious body blow. Having said all of that, I absolutely fucking loved playing this game because this sandbox is incredible. I couldn't believe how quickly I gelled with all its disparate components to begin immediately creating Halo magic. Imagine all of the weapons and gadgets you've already experienced in multiplayer, combined with Halo's exceptional enemy design, each of them sporting some truly spectacular AI that will punish you in the best possible ways at higher difficulties, combined with some fantastic mission design, and finish all of that off with the polish that can only come from 343 having spent 12 months sanding back every rough edge. It's too early to say definitively, but so far, Halo Infinite is the best Halo I have ever played. How it handles everything outside of that, its story, its characters, and its open world, that's the part I'm hoping 343 can land when we all get our hands on the full version of the game come December.
What is it you're searching for? There's nothing there.
The preview guide that I got sent for Halo Infinite has a line that reads, "Halo Infinite is unashamedly a Master Chief story. Spartan Locke is thankfully nowhere to be seen as our adventure begins, with Master Chief floating listlessly through space. In the distance, Zeta Halo lies in broken waiting, shattered by forces unknown. Chief, now rebooted but still missing his AI companion Cortana, knows that the banished forces who occupy the region have plans for Zeta Halo, and if there's one thing the Chief is good at, it's messing up other people's plans. Teaming up with a man now only referred to as the Pilot, Chief sets out to make landfall on Zeta Halo, find a new AI companion to help back him up, take back Zeta Halo one hexagon at a time, and bring down the banished once and for all. The Pilot doesn't like this plan because the Pilot is just a dude. He isn't 8 foot tall, he doesn't have some super soldier serum coursing through his veins, and he doesn't have a suit of armor that makes him practically invincible. He's also a family man, and he's got something waiting for him back home, and as the only survivor of whatever went down at Zeta Halo, the Pilot is pretty keen to get the fuck out of there.
No. Not then! Not again! We need to run!
Chief, on the other hand, doesn't know the meaning of retreat.
I need a weapon.
Weapon? This is all I've got.
It's enough.
This is the central tension set up between these two characters. Chief is a man that doesn't know hesitation. He is so single-minded in his commitment to the mission that it can feel robotic. That's why his relationship to Cortana is so important. It humanizes him. I think 343 are trying to do something similar here with the Pilot, using his relationship to Chief to remind us that the fight for humanity is a human one, full of fear of what might be lost if things don't go Chief's way. The Pilot might be laying things on a little too thick though. This dude brings a lot of nervous energy, and sometimes it's like, dude, relax. 343 have been clear that Infinite is a game with a very small cast, so I'm expecting that I'll be spending a solid 10 to 15 hours with this dude. I really hope he gets his hands on some Valium or something, because I expect things on Zeta Halo will get worse before they get better, and I don't want to see this guy go into full meltdown mode. The other major character I met was codenamed The Weapon. It's a new AI who's basically Cortana, but she's definitely not Cortana. It's the same voice actress, Jen Taylor, but she's sitting in her upper register this time around, making for a more playful and chirpy performance.
There are more UNSC forward operating bases that have fallen into banished hands. Well, pause. They have paws.
It's also meant to be more personality driven and funny. The Weapon is your comic relief actually, which is kind of weird because Cortana's brand of humor has typically been focused on poking fun at Chief's penchant for violence. Here though, the Weapon is sort of the butt of the joke as she brings this sort of naive ditziness that feels out of place given our historic connection with this voice.
The Banished are planning to fire this ring. We need to make sure they don't.
First of all, what's a banished?
The villains this time around are the Banished, continuing the fight after the events of Halo Wars 2. They are a coalition of alien species who broke away from the Covenant to forge their own path, and here they're led by a very angry dude who smashes his fist on the table and he barks threats at Chief via a hologram, and he is a bad guy. That is actually the perfect way to describe him so far. He is a bad guy, in a way that you've seen many times before.
I want you to know my name too. To know my legend. How else will you beg me for mercy?
The Halo audience is older now. The target demographic for this game isn't 15-year-old kids, it's 30-year-olds. People who are a little older and wiser. People who are looking for something a little more nuanced, subtle, unique. Right now, this is not a villain I'm interested to learn more about, or even square off against. He just feels a little one-dimensional at a time when your average Halo fan is probably craving a few more dimensions. So again, like I said, these are just top-line impressions based on the opening act of the game, and it's possible that everything I'm saying here falls into place, that all these characters find the depth we're hoping to find in them, and that Infinite becomes a truly great Halo story full of truly great Halo characters. Right now though, I'm not seeing that in any of the new characters or villains. I am seeing it in the mystery of Cortana and Chief's obsession with it. Halo Infinite is presented as a mystery of sorts. How did Master Chief end up in space? How did the UNSC lose the battle for Zeta Halo? How was Zeta destroyed, and what are the Banished planning to do with a ring that apparently can't be fired? The most compelling mystery, though, is the one that plays out in Chief's head, or more specifically, not in his head, since Cortana's status and whereabouts are unknown. Some reports indicate that she's she's been deleted, others that she still exists. The things she did in the past still remain inexplicable, and Master Chief clings to the hope that Cortana can be found and turned from her ruinous path. This story, when the game turns its attention to it, is everything. It's absolutely the best part of the narrative, as it draws on not only the rich history between these two characters, but on the memories that we as players have about them. At all times, we were Master Chief and Cortana both, and watching this play out is a reminder of the adventures we shared as part of this trinity, or love triangle, but when you say it like that, it makes it really weird. I'm a big believer in the idea that if you can't get me in the first act, you're probably not going to get me at all. When it comes to Halo Infinite's story, I feel like I'm at that cusp. I'm not here to tell you that this is bad. I'm just here to tell you that it hasn't brought me over the line yet. Halo 2, man, that opening, holy shit, you are hooked from the second that game begins. I'm hoping Halo Infinite is a slow burn because it certainly doesn't leap out at you in that opening act the way the previous Halo games have. You know what does leap out at you straight away though? This sandbox, oh my god.
Hurry, I can see them.
My time with Halo Infinite began here, on board a banished ship anchored off Zeta Halo. Chief has a mind to scuttle it and begins making his way through that ship. It's in these opening moments that you're introduced to two of Infinite's core abilities, the scanner and the grapple. The scanner is exactly what you think it is. It pings the environment around you, highlighting interactive elements like switches, weapons, and ammo, as well as those awesome exploding canisters of goo that the banished just love to leave laying around. The scanner is essential because these environments are so intricate and detailed that it's easy to miss things. Even stuff like gun racks can sometimes blend into the environment given the density of them, so you'll often find yourself relying on this ping in the heat of battle when you're out of ammo and you're desperately searching for a weapon. They could have done the alternative and made weapons and objects kind of flash so you could see them without the aid of the ping, but then they kind of become a distraction and they take away from how clean these environments look. You can be a little too reliant on this ping sometimes, but I do think it's better than the alternative in this instance. The grapple hook. Man, I don't know that I've ever come across a better grapple hook in any video game ever. Like, it's just incredible. You can use this thing to move forward faster. You will often use it as a get out of jail free card when your shields are blown and you can just feel an elite bearing down on your position. You can use it to pick up weapons dropped in the field, and you will certainly be using it to pull and throw explosive objects. The biggest impact that the grapple has though is on the way it opens up level design. Halo levels have always had plenty of verticality, but the path towards those upper levels was always paved by ramps and boxes. Now anything as high as almost 30 feet above you is fair game. You just look up, point, and fire off that grapple. You're not only pulled to that location, but you're gifted a hefty dose of momentum to keep you moving up and over a ledge you might be trying to clear. At that point, you're now on top of the roof, and that sniper who was giving you grief from across the way, he's like, shit. More than any Halo before it, Halo Infinite's level design is open plan and vertical, and this isn't just in the open world sections either. During missions, you'll often enter very open plan sections that are designed around your mobility. This is awesome because it asks you to think more laterally than you've ever had to do in a Halo game, and it also allows 343 to apply pressure in ways that they couldn't before. You'll often find yourself pinned down by elevated snipers, and it's not like you've been handed a battle rifle or a sniper rifle to combat them. You might have just a sidearm and a shotgun on you. At that point, 343 are essentially saying, find a way forward and up. And they know you're going to have to rely on that grapple to get that done. I think if you watch any playthrough of Halo Infinite's missions, but especially its open world sections, you're not going to see a situation where two people approach a challenge in the same way. And the grapple is the most important ingredient in that freedom of choice. But let's not undersell the weapons, man. Halo Infinite ships with like 22 new and returning weapons. Each of them are fantastic. So much identity has been baked into every single one of these weapons. Each one is their own unique playstyle that you momentarily adopt when you pick it up, and you just as quickly abandon it when its ammo is spent. Playing Halo Infinite is like being a martial artist that flows seamlessly between different fighting styles. One moment a ranged sniper, the next a medium range specialist staying light on their feet, the next a CQC brawler grappling towards their opponent, energy sword in hand. That entire journey I just described can unfold in as little as 30 seconds or less. That's the 30-second loop that Halo has always been built on, and I don't think it's ever been better than it is right here. I really want to shout out enemy AI because it's fucking smart. Halo has always been at the forefront of enemy AI, and Infinite is no slouch here. We've already had our asses kicked by Spartan difficulty bots in PvP. Well, wait until you meet elites on heroic difficulty. They will mess you up. They will immediately punish you for just tiny errors. Their maneuvers, their flanks, the way they press the advantage. You really can't take any engagement with them for granted because just when you think you might have them, they're more than capable of turning the fight around. Sound design, also excellent. Positional audio isn't quite as informative as I would have liked, particularly with things like grenade sounds or nearby objects that are about to explode, but weapon sounds are excellent and hit marker sounds in particular are extremely good. You'll often shoot distant targets in Halo Infinite, and you can't always see if you're hitting your mark. The hit marker sounds leave no doubt in your mind how on target you are, and the kill sounds give you the confidence to move to the next target without having to see that target hitting the floor.
Stop moving!
I could gush about this sandbox for far, far longer, but let me put it this way. This sandbox is so good that even when I was playing in the open world, which I didn't really love, I was still having an amazing time because playing this game is just such a joy. 343 have delivered what feels like the best Halo sandbox yet, and I'm sure there's going to be mixed opinions on the other aspects of the game, but I'm certain that everybody is going to love playing this. So speaking of the open world though, let's talk about that part now. The Halo Infinite preview was essentially divided into two parts. Two very linear opening missions, and then some time spent in the open world which culminated in a mission called The Tower. This is indicative of what I expect the broader game to be like, a balance between the free-form open world and the more curated missions. The first two missions I did, I loved them, I really did. Part of that was falling in love with the Halo sandbox all over again, but part of that was the fact that I think they were just really well-designed missions, full of interesting level design, and enemy placement, and set pieces, and pacing. And the levels looked stunning. The Forerunner level in particular was just, yeah, super good. The art direction in this game is top tier. Like the gameplay, the visual design harkens back to the classic Halo aesthetic of the original games while modernizing it in all the right ways. There are essentially 3 of these linear missions available during this preview, since the other available mission was more of an intro into the open world of Zeta Halo. I really enjoyed these 3 missions, and if 343 can maintain that level of quality throughout the entire campaign, then I think we've got a good Halo game on our hands. The biggest change that Halo Infinite makes to the Halo formula, besides the grapple, is its open world structure. After the opening 2 missions, you're dumped onto a section of Zeta Halo where you'll set up a beachhead by capturing your first forward operating base, or FOB. These are UNSC bases that have been captured by banished forces, so when you kill all those banished forces and then press a button at a terminal, the FOB is now yours. FOBs let you spawn in vehicles you've unlocked, they also let you fast travel to them, and they also reveal other nearby activities or collectibles on the map. What are those other activities and collectibles, you ask? Well, scattered throughout the map are Spartan cores. These are typically unguarded and you just kind of walk up to them and collect them. They power your suit upgrades like stronger shields or faster grapple recharge time, etc. There's squads in distress, which is literally just a group of UNSC soldiers either pinned down or captured, and you have to help them out with a brief bit of combat. That gives you a little bit of what is essentially experience to give you more spawn options at FOBs, like additional weapons, additional vehicles. There's Molnar Armory caches, which are mostly unguarded, and they provide you with cosmetics for use in multiplayer. There are propaganda towers, which are just kind of sitting out in the open, and you shoot them a few times, and they blow up and you earn some XP. The flagship offering within the open world are these banished outposts, which are essentially just really big FOBs, full of lots of enemies and some specific objectives to complete. Here I had to blow up these resource silos by first bringing them up and either shooting them or grenading them, and then I had to deactivate these vehicle repair bays by heading in and smashing them with my fist. So a few things to say here. Firstly, this is a preview. I only had access to a small section of the map and a small number of total activities. It is possible that this open world really opens up later on and will be full of lots of different challenges and interesting things to discover and big surprises that really make Zeta Halo feel like an upgrade to the Halo franchise, in the way that the grapple hook is clearly an upgrade. Right now though, this just isn't doing anything for me. To repeat what I said earlier, I don't look at any part of it and think that it's bad, I just don't think it's adding anything either. Zeta Halo feels really empty and lifeless. As you stand in any part of it and observe it, it isn't teeming with enemy patrols, or vehicle convoys on their way to a location, or dangerous foes inviting you toward them. It feels really vacant. You stumble upon the odd clustering of enemies here or there, but they're usually just chilling on a roadside, so you kind of blow them up in 30 seconds and then move on. I'd really hoped that we'd be making our way through the flowing arteries of the banished war machine. Every road a dangerous one to traverse because you don't know what rolling thunder you might run into. That doesn't happen here. Zeta Halo feels like a collection of entirely separate stages waiting for your arrival so that the director can then yell action. When I previewed Elden Ring, and when I've spoken about other games in the past like Outer Wilds or Breath of the Wild, I said the most important question that any open world game can make you ask is, what's over there? The answer to that in Halo Infinite is always, at least so far, nothing. Unless there is a map marker telling you that there is something there, then there's nothing there. As such, exploration and discovery are not features of this world. You'll be led by the nose towards map markers, with those markers revealing more markers. Audio logs you might stumble upon in a cave somewhere are not enough to engender the curiosity that is essential to any good open world experience. Halo Infinite, so far, does not inspire in me any curiosity whatsoever. So why doesn't this suck then? Well, it doesn't suck because Zeta Halo is essentially just a big playground that houses the sandbox, to torture the metaphor a little. It's still enjoyable to be in this space and shoot stuff and make things happen because Halo Infinite is really fucking fun to play, and Zeta Halo just gives you more space to play it. Going through all of this with a friend in co-op would probably be pretty rad, to be honest, because there's just so many shenanigans you can get up to with a buddy in the back of your Warthog, and I think if there was ever a Halo game that would benefit from co-op, it would have been Halo Infinite, making its absence from launch all the more disappointing. So like I said, Zeta Halo isn't bad, but I don't really think it adds anything to the overall experience. I was in a group interview with 343 developers, and when talking about the open world, they said something very interesting. They said that all of the open world activities are entirely optional, and you never need to do any of them if you don't want to. That really bummed me out, because I don't think that this studio, who are custodians of this franchise, should be wasting their time creating anything that they feel is inessential to the Halo experience. There is nothing optional about Halo 1 or 2 or 3. Every square inch of those experiences is utterly essential. If this world was to be a pillar on which Infinite is built, I would have rather it was designed to be an essential part of the experience. Right now, this world does feel optional. Very optional, and not in a good way. So there's been some good and some bad in this preview, but I kind of want to do a reality check at the back end because I think the weight of expectations on 343 are so massive right now, given how beloved this IP is, given how shitty Halo 5 was, given the 12-month delay this game suffered, etc. There's a lot of pressure for Halo Infinite to be this masterpiece that redefines Halo for the new era, yada yada yada. What I've always thought is, I'm not looking for a masterpiece, I just want a good Halo game. And so far, I really believe that 343 are on track to do that. I think they've already nailed it in the multiplayer, some content and progression issues aside. I think they've absolutely crushed this campaign sandbox, and this game is phenomenal to play. I think the visuals are stunning, and I think the linear mission design has been excellent. The story and the open world stuff isn't clicking for me yet, but it might eventually, it might not. But even if it doesn't, I still think I'm going to enjoy Infinite. I'm going to want to play it on Legendary, and I'm going to want to play through it again when co-op hits. If you separate Halo Infinite from all the hype and the drama and the console wars bullshit, my time with the game makes me really confident that this will be a game that most people are going to have a good time playing. And I personally really look forward to playing through the rest of it very, very soon. Before we go though, let me ask you this. Are you currently happy with your headset? Question mark? I don't think I needed to say the question mark, but I did it anyway. Halo Infinite has some incredible sound design, and it's not just nice to listen to, it also gives you a competitive advantage, since hearing what's going on around you is one of your key tools for success in both PvE and PvP. That's why I strongly recommend the SteelSeries Arctis 9X wireless headset. It's what I use when I play Xbox, and it's amazing. Not only does this thing look sexy as hell, but it's also super comfortable with an adjustable top strap that sits nicely over your noggin and super soft ear cups. This thing doesn't need a USB dongle or cable to connect to your Xbox, by the way. It connects completely wirelessly and you sync it in the exact same way you do a controller. Totally seamless, totally easy. Plus, you can also sync it to your phone at the same time, so you can literally take calls on it while you're teabagging fools in multiplayer. This thing also allows you to play music through your phone, and the dual audio option lets you listen to both the game sounds and the music at the same time. You can also use Discord on your phone while playing on Xbox. So if you're playing crossplay with PC mates, or you just don't like Xbox Party Chat, then the Arctis 9X has you covered. Speaking of Discord, the Arctis 9X features a retractable, bi-directional, noise-cancelling, Discord-certified Clearcast microphone, so the match-made lobbies can clearly hear all that trash talk you're throwing out. Finally, the Arctis 9X is supported by the SteelSeries GG app for PC, the end-to-end software suite that allows you to calibrate the EQ levels of your headset and then apply those settings when playing on Xbox. This allows you to truly customize your audio experience, making it even easier to hear the sounds that matter most. SteelSeries make premium-grade peripherals and headsets used at every level of play, from casual gamer right through to esports pros. In fact, more prize money has been won using SteelSeries peripherals than from any other manufacturer. It's top-shelf stuff, that's why I use it, that's why I think you should check it out. I'm going to leave a link to the Arctis 9X below. Grab one at that link or visit the SteelSeries website to learn more. Thanks SteelSeries for sponsoring the video, and thank you for watching it. Thanks for watching my video. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down so I know to do better for next time. If you enjoyed yourself, consider subscribing, and if you really enjoyed yourself, maybe consider hitting that notification bell so you never miss a video. You can see my patrons here on the left. They're awesome. They're amazing. If you want to join them, check out my Patreon page. Thank you again. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.